I'm delighted to be joined by Hajar Noreddine from Adjoe. How are you doing today?
I'm very good, thank you very much. How about yourself?
Very well. It's been nice. It's nice to be back at these shows full stop after the 2 years of nightmarish stuff we had to deal with.
Definitely, I agree with that.
But London's always a fun one because it's the biggest and it's the start of the year and, you know.
I agree, 100%. Last year, actually, I was also here, but I'm also happy to see that this year there's a lot more crowd than last year for sure.
We were scared no one would turn up last year because of everything, understandably, you know.
Yeah, I remember.
But handily, there was appetite. People wanted to come back, so we're delighted to be here. But yourselves, Adjoe, what is it that you folks do for maybe people who haven't heard before?
Sure. So Adjoe is an ad tech company that creates unique ad solutions for both user acquisition and ad monetization. So what do we do as Adjoe is we challenge the current scope of advertising or rewarded advertising, and we challenge the industry to come up with new ways and innovative ways to do things differently, both for our partners, publishers, and the users.
Well, that leads on to the whole GDPR thing because everyone had to change the way they did things when that was brought in when it comes to data, and it affects ad companies specifically. You're obviously able to gather slightly less data than maybe you did before, but I know that some people are finding ways to use that data either differently or more efficiently. How has Adjoe dealt with that new revelation?
That's a very good question. Luckily for us, since Adjoe started or was founded in the industry, GDPR was already a thing. So we tailored our ad solution to already be GDPR compliant. It has always been. As our main products, Playtime, which is a time-based rewarded ad unit, as it is user-initiated. So when users are interacting with it, they have to accept terms and conditions in order for us to be GDPR compliant, and they have to opt in. So this gives the user full control whether, first of all, they want to interact with it or not. And second, we actually use that information that they give us to give them the best ad experience they could ask for, or let's say more ads that are tailored to their likings. I guess also to mention, in the almost 7 years that I've been in the industry, ads have been perceived very, very differently in the last 3 years, probably to 4 years max. Of course, in the beginning, when people hear ads, they're always scared. Users hated them. Publishers and app developers saw them as a negative thing. But the more and more we went deeper into ads, we can clearly see now that users actually would like to have these ads, right? There were actually many surveys, and one recent one last year that was done by Google Play, and they asked their users, and more than half of them, they said they would be less satisfied if rewarded advertising was removed from their games and apps.
Well, you mentioned there the initial friction that happened when ad models were brought in. Now things have changed and people are more accustomed to them, and you say even wanted them. So nowadays, what is the best way to get a user engaged? The models have changed so much. We had pop-up ads and video ads and interactive. So what works best nowadays? Or is it a case of different things, different solutions for different problems?
Great. I actually think right now, also based on my humble experience, users are more likely to be happy if you give them relevant ads, something that makes sense to them, something that is not too intrusive, and something that is tailored to their, let's say, profiles or their likings, which what we try to do with our unique time-based rewarded ad unit Playtime. I think there was also a survey that was published in Pocket Gamer Biz last year. And in the UK, since we're here, more than 76% of the users say they are happy with ads that are relevant in their favorite mobile games and apps. And I think in the US, it was somewhere around 56%. They are feeling more positive if the ads that they're seeing are actually relevant to them and not just random stuff or intrusive. So I think the market has been moving really toward what do users really want. And also on the app development side, the more and more gaming partners that I talk to are actually trying these ads and trying rewarded ads. And for the ones that haven't, and they've only been focused on in-app purchases, when they try ads for the first time, they're happy, but also they regret for not doing them in the past probably 5 years. You know, when they see the incremental revenues, the users are happy with this and giving them a sense of the in-app purchases without them having to pay for them.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, you mentioned obviously the players and the way they react to the advertisements, but your clients specifically, what is it that you require them to give you in order to tailor their campaign effective? What information do you need from them?
Sorry, I couldn't hear that.
Sorry, what information do you need from your clients in order to tailor the campaigns?
That is cool. So it depends from the supply side. So if we are helping them with ad monetization, our rewarded ad units playtime, it is an SDK integration. So first of all, as I mentioned, it is 100% user initiated. But in order to personalize the experience for the user and make it basically native to the game or to the app, we ask them for a header that comes on top to customize playtime. And then also like color code, basically every page of playtime from one game to another, it will look different colors, different header and images. However, from the user acquisition side, we also of course help advertising partners acquire high quality users, engaged users through the same way. And for that, we also ask them what are their favorite targeting groups. And thanks to our machine learning and the opt-in that we get, we're also able to target gender, age, in addition, of course, to OS versions and countries, which basically makes advertisers target the correct niche for their games. If you have a game and the best targets you have are women 35 plus, we're able to do that on the advertiser side as well.
Gotcha. So how much power do you put in the hands of your clients when it comes to the data and the information? Do you kind of hold back the data and analyze it yourself, give them the relevant info, or do you just give them all the data and go, here you go nuts?
Good question. So they all have access to our dashboards, but we also have dedicated account managers both on supply and demand side to make sure that we help our partners. So we have this kind of agreements that of course they see the analysis that we make. And of course our favorite part is to do what is best for them and to reach their KPIs, while also getting event postbacks from them, for example, to see how are we doing, what can we do differently to make it, to get the results to a better scope. And basically help them with that. And just to highlight quickly, thanks to Playtime, we've helped partners on the demand side reach over 30% increase in ROAS. And on the supply side, we help publishers get more than 50% incremental ad revenue right after they started using Playtime.
Thank you. Finally, what's the biggest mistake that you see clients making? Or, to put it a nicer way, what bit of advice would you give to clients who are looking to launch an ad campaign, but maybe they haven't done it before, they don't know how the system works? What would you say to them? Where should they start?
I would say always diversify, both when you are doing user acquisition and also when you have an ad stack. Diversification is a really big advice that I would like to give. Some people, they would just stick to one specific source, and despite the fact if it's not giving them enough results or good results, they just hope that it's going to get better. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. So I would say always diversify your portfolio. And I think this goes everywhere in life, also in investments, or if you're doing shares or anything, diversification gets you the best results. And trying things. Don't be afraid to try new things. A lot of people are still afraid of ads. Unfortunately, we see some gaming partners that still only focus on in-app purchases. But I think it's good to take that leap of faith, or also just try with a small rollout of users and see how your users like it, because they might be super happy to have that rather than just one option.